Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. I apologise for the delay in between videos. Life just got in the way, and I can actually, to be honest, I kind of get disheartened about the fact that the videos I'd made in the last couple of weeks hadn't really been getting any views, and it's my fault. I haven't promoted the channel properly. I was wanting to wait until I'd finished the guides before I actually started promoting it. Anyway, I enjoy making these videos, so I'm going to continue doing so. And I better get promoting them, otherwise I won't get any views. Anyway, yeah, the reason I have come back to the Kingsgate bonfire rather than the central Drangleic bonfire, because we're going to use the key to the embedded, which we picked up from the Demon of Song in the previous episode, after we defeated the Demon of Song. And the reason I've came back here is just to mention something I noticed about the Rune Sentinels in New Game Plus. And I'm lucky to survive there, I've probably got a sliver of health, perhaps probably about 10 health points here. Yeah, if you're in New Game Plus, the Rune Sentinels only spawn once, so if you're wanting to farm them for their armour set, make sure you do it in New Game rather than New Game Plus. One of the problems with these Rune Sentinels is I think one of their attacks can actually hit behind your shield, so you'll like get a glancing blow and it'll just knock a wee bit of your health off. And also, if you don't get your shield up quickly enough, that wide swing that they've got can be quite quick. So if you don't have lots of agility, you won't get your shield up quickly enough. What else? Like that. So yeah, you maybe want to just go to the central Drangleic Castle bonfire. The reason I'm showing this part here, we did this in a couple of episodes ago when we came to Drangleic Castle. It's just to show there's an easy way to get through this poisoned arrow room with the mass that spit poison arrows at you. It's just to roll, roll, and roll, and you'll do it quite easily. This is to show dual wielding the Mastodon Greatsword. I think I did it in the previous episode in the Shrine of Amana, but I hadn't actually power stanced them, so I wasn't actually getting the benefit of dual wielding, really. You need to dual wield both weapons. You need to meet the requirements of one weapon, and then you need half the requirements of one weapon to wield the second weapon. So for example, if a sword requires 20 strength to wield, you need 20 strength to wield one sword, and the second sword in the offhand will require 10 points of strength because you need half of the full requirements to do it in power stance. So that would be 30 points of strength in total if something required to power stance a sword, if it required 20 points of strength to use it in one hand. I think that makes sense. The problem with dual wielding, it's good in certain respects, but the problem is that the offhand weapon doesn't give you 100% of its total attack rating or attack capabilities. You only get a proportion of its total attack capabilities, so I think it's over 50, I think it might be 70 or 80% you get. Anyway, this is just to show don't jump off that lift. It causes this, buggy outcome. If you come into this room, things aren't loaded up and you bounce around. So this is the embedded. He's guarding the way to the Milfanito that's imprisoned in here in Drangleic Castle. You need to have the sword on your bar to use it, so do that. And the embedded was a poor soul who had a lust for carnal pleasures, and he wasn't able to control those desires, and chained himself up as a result. So yeah, you need to rescue this Milfanito, because where we're going after this, you'll remember that there was an area after the Demon of Song but before the Undead Crypt. It was off to the right, and in order to access that area properly you need to rescue this Milfanito. We also rescued the other Milfanito outside the Demon of Song boss room in the previous episode, and I mentioned how it was interesting that we were going to pick up a ring, and this is the ring I was referring to. It's the Ring of the Dead, and as it says, it keeps human appearance even when hollow. So I speculate that the Milfanito that we rescued, she looked, she was all shaggy and dirty, and she just looked unkempt. So it's possible that she was missing the Ring of the Dead, and all the Milfanito actually wear the Ring of the Dead to keep themselves looking pristine and human and not hollowed out. And we get this lovely vocal thingy of the original song, or the Milfanito song. Don't know what it's really called. So once you've done all that, you want to make your way back to the Shrine of Amana, and you're going to have to come down the King's Passageway. Is that what it's called? I think it is. And you'll have to take on these Llewellyn Knights, or no, Stone Knights, sorry, they're called Stone Knights, and they're wearing the Llewellyn armour set. And off to the left here, I mentioned that in the previous episode, on the left there's a treasure chest. Don't forget to pick the items up in there. Off to the right here now, treasure chest, very good items in there. Make sure you pick them up before you come back down to the Shrine of Amana. So I actually farmed the Stone Knights to get the Llewellyn armour set. And that's what I'm wearing, the chest piece. I think I'm wearing the Drangleic leggings, and I'm wearing the Jester gloves. So we're back in the first room with the Milfanito in Shrine of Amana.
You rescued a Milfanito who was taken from us. Take this. We, Milfanito, thank you.
And you can hear the curse pot in the background. You know, there's a curse pot outside the first room in the Shrine of Amana with this Milfanito.
Well, that cursed singing.
And I want to talk about that in a moment.
They may be of no use outside.
Just now we're picking up a reward for rescuing the Milfanito in Drangleic Castle, and probably the other one she's referring to as well. So we get some divine blessings, and we'll also pick up other rewards later on from another Milfanito. So the curse pots, something struck my imagination before. This is us at the Rise of the Dead bonfire. This is the one after the Demon of Song and before the Undead Crypt. So once you've got your reward, you maybe want to go back up to the bonfire at the start of Shrine of Amana and warp here. And you need to have rescued the 2 Milfanito before you can open this door. And make sure you've got a weapon that can strike the ground, because you've got these crawling undead just as you open this door. So yeah, the curse pot, something struck my imagination. That was perhaps the idea that Lord Aldia, who we've seen referred to in certain descriptions, and his manor or his mansion that he did experiments in, I wonder if when he was separating the bodies out from the subjects that he was experimenting on, that he put the souls, the disembodied souls, into these curse pots before re-implanting them in golems or something. I don't know, maybe, I might be wrong about that. So just watch out when you come down here. You've got that Aldia warlock to take on, and he casts ranged dark sorceries at you, or hexes, sorry. Once you come in here, you've got the Amana Shrine? The Altar of Amana, sorry. And this is an interesting location. We've got this Milfanito as well, and she's going to reward you for saving her sisters. But this altar, I'm going to talk over her. If you're hollow and you have 0 human effigies in your inventory, you can come to this shrine, this altar, and pray to it, and it will restore your humanity. So quite useful. It looks like a portal as well to me, and we've seen these kind of similar objects or shrines or altars or whatever scattered throughout Drangleic. And I think you use one of these to get to the DLC area that's coming up. In fact, I know you do, and it's next to, it's at the, if you're not interested, don't listen in a couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's at the Rotten, next to the Rotten, at the Primal Bonfire next to the Rotten. Okay, so now if you come down the stairs here, you'll get the fire seat, and if you come out, you've got an area that's that mirrors the area, often next to the Undead Crypt, the entrance to the Undead Crypt. If you come off to the right there, or left as you come down into the area, you've got this treasure chest, and you pick up the Manslayer. The Manslayer is a katana type weapon, and it poisons enemies because it's blood stained, and yeah, it poisons enemies. What to do is, if you want to use that weapon, use a poison infusion on it to increase its inherent status effect, i.e. the poison. We've also got a bonfire ascetic up here. Oh, by the way, if you're wanting to farm the warlock for the warlock mask and the bone shield or whatever it is, you need to use a bonfire ascetic to do so. In the next episode, we will make our way forward. Thanks for watching.